Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's good? What's good? As y'all already know, this is the Brainz podcast. We got my man BG31 in the building. Our guy, One Trey Rock. You know what I'm saying? And yours truly, Tone This is the second. Man, look, we appreciate y'all for locking in on this live stream. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Really helps the content grow. Really helps everything get everywhere. It helps everyone see everything.
Yeah, the throwback. We are here. And you know what's so funny? Because I got my boy Tone to come back on Brainz podcast. He's been away for a while, but you know BG gonna be knocking on that door trying to get him in to get that good fire Eagles content in. Welcome to episode. Hey, you know what? Since you're here, we're calling it episode 20 of the Brainz podcast. Whenever you come back, it's gonna always just be a Brainz podcast whenever we're on this screen together, my guy.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the love, man. I'm glad you reached out to me. I know we tried to set something up last week. Schedules didn't align, but here we are on a Monday evening, and I'm excited to be back, my friend.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to have you back, man. One Trey Rock will be here shortly. He's setting up his stuff right now, he said. But we got the Eagles to talk about, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute since we got on here to talk some Eagles football. But yes. You know what we're going to go straight into? We're going to go straight into it. You know, the breaking news about our boy, you know, Mr. Haason Reddick going over to the Jets, man, for a conditional third-round pick that can turn into a second, man. I've watched some videos and heard some of the things, but I want to talk with you live about it. So how you feeling about this move? Like, what's your gut really saying about this move?
Objectively, you know, the Eagles' defense got worse. Objectively, you know, we can break it down however we want. And I was one of the people that definitely wanted the Haason Reddick back. You know, for the 2024 season. But ultimately, the business has to come first at some point. And Haason Reddick knew what he wanted. The Philadelphia Eagles knew what number they weren't going to move off of, and they couldn't meet in the middle. And I always tell people, I'm always going to try to speak on the Philadelphia Eagles side of things. I'm always going to try to speak from the player's perspective, and I'm going to tell you guys where I fall in between that, right? I understand where the Philadelphia Eagles are coming from. They look at it from the perspective of, you know, you have a player, my man Trey Rock, what's going on?
You
know, so the Eagles are looking at it from this perspective. You have a player in Haason Reddick who will be 31 years old by the end of the contract. By the end of his current contract, he'll be 31 years old. And at the start of the new contract, he's looking for maybe 22, 23, 24 million, maybe 25. I mean, we don't really know the exact figures, and we're going to find out what the Jets give him later down the line. But overall, he had a number that he wanted. The Eagles weren't ready to move off of their number, and they really couldn't find any common ground on that. So the Philadelphia Eagles decided to make the move. They bring back a third-round pick that could turn into a second in 2026. And you know what that tells me, based off of the compensation that they were able to accept or willing to accept, tells me that they really didn't have too much leverage in the trade market when it came to him, because whoever traded for him was going to have to pay him. So that already takes a lot of steam out of what the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to get back from other teams. So that's one. And for two, he's going to be above 30 whenever he's going to be 30 when the season starts. So when you think about it from that perspective, the Eagles didn't really have as much leverage as maybe a lot of people thought. And to take it a step further, why the pick is what it is, this is my perspective. You know, a lot of people say, why a 2026 pick? Why not a 2024 or even a 2025? I think the Philadelphia Eagles, especially Howie Roseman, I think they're banking on the New York Jets being terrible in 2 years because they've invested so much in their team when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and trying to, placate him and make sure he's comfortable and trying to put pieces around him. I don't think Howie Roseman looks at the New York Jets situation as sustainable as maybe they think. So I think he told himself, I'm going to take the gamble and I'm going to go for the 2026 pick. And on top of that, I know Haason's going to produce. I know Haason's going to I know Hassan's going to play more than 67% of the snaps. I know Hassan's going to have 10 sacks or more. I expect that out of him. But I'm playing the long game here, and I think they looked at it from the perspective of the Jets going to be bad in 2 years. That third could become a second. But overall, like I said, he's a great player that produced a lot over the past 4 years. In particular, his most productive years came with the Philadelphia Eagles, and you can't deny that. You can't take that away from him. So I'm not mad at a player for wanting to get his money. Like I always tell people, I'm gonna tell you from the Eagles side and the player side, go get your money, brother. Go get your money. I'm real big on that because this league ain't gonna love you. Only person gonna love you better than you is maybe your family. So you know, you got to take care of them at the end of the day. Go get your money, do what you got to do, and you know, the business is gonna be the business.
Hey, I like it, man. I like it. He said some things in there too, like the age thing I was always talking about. You know, my podcast, I was saying, you know, like there's no way in hell we're gonna pay $25 million to a 30-year-old, you know, edge rusher. Period. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a smart move. You know, I was on board, like you said, of keeping them this year. I was going to be honest, keep them hostage. You know, okay, you want to leave, but hey, here's your $15 million I owe you. You can do whatever you want after the end of the season. You know, go wherever you want, do whatever you want, type of deal. But Howie Roseman, we kind of gave him his flowers. You know, kept him home to a team that's going to probably pay him that big contract. And that's another thing to that Jets thing that you're talking about. They're going to have to pay Haason Reddick just $25 million a year. So they're going to have even less money moving forward. So that pick is looking a lot more nicer. But you know, is it a tragedy? No. You know, he is the best. He has been the best sack artist on our football team, but just like the rest of the team, man, like they all left at the end of last year. None of them. Hassan wasn't doing nothing at the end of last year either. You know what I'm saying? Everybody act like, you know, he had a double-digit sacks. If you really look at it, this 11 is just like what he did the year before. From him getting 16, you know, you expected him to, you know, come back this year and be a little bit stronger with that. You know what I'm saying? Like to disappear at the end of the season like he did, you know, including that playoff game, not getting a sack in, 5 straight games, you know? Like that is something that, you know, like you got to at least get one somewhere in there. You know, there were crucial games all throughout that little slate. You had to at least, you know, show up and show out and get a couple of sacks within there, you know, for me to try to pay you as being one of the best in the game right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't pay you to be like one of the best in the game if you're not performing like one of the best in the game. Aaron Donald, no matter what, you know what I'm saying? It's not really just about his sacks, but when he's out there every single time, you feel him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if they're losing, they're winning, whatever, you're going to feel a guy like that. You know, there's a couple of guys out there, you know, that are dominating. You know, what's the dude from Cleveland? Our boy, Myles Garrett. Every year, he's high double-digit sacks. You know, so that's what the elite sack artists get you. And to be one to get paid, I understand everybody wants to get paid, but at the end of the day, you know, we got another player. Like you said, we swapped players, a younger version, you know, which could possibly a clip from Hugh Douglas, one of the Eagle greats. They said, can we possibly better than Haason Reddick moving forward? Plus Fangio screen 3-4. You know what I'm saying? Like he likes his bigger ends than, you know, and then maybe he's looking for more of a linebacker at the outside linebacker that can also rush the passer.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble. I mean, you know, Trey, it's funny, right? I want to get your perspective on this angle, right? You know, and obviously I know we're going to talk about the Bryce Huff situation for sure, but Trey, I want to get your perspective on this angle. You know, Josh Sweat, they were able to restructure and give him $10 million up front, right? What's your thought on the notion that they came to Hassan, they came to Sweat, and remind you, both their contracts end at the same time? What are the odds, in your opinion, that they went to both players saying, listen, are you willing to negotiate? Are you willing to restructure? Are you willing to take some upfront money, right? And Josh Sweat said, hey, give me that. I think it came down to a race of who's going to play ball or not, because I think the Eagles were ready and willing to trade Josh Sweat if Haason Reddick played ball and Josh Sweat didn't. So again, both of y'all, especially you, Trey, like, what's your thoughts on that notion that Sweat and Reddick kind of was in the same, they was kind of in the same ballpark, but the difference is Sweat decided to play ball and Haason Reddick didn't.
I don't feel like it was that. I feel like it was more of a, okay, I'm coming to both of y'all. Because we signed Bryce Huff regardless.
Right.
We signed him regardless. So I'm coming to both of y'all, right? All right. You don't want to restructure? All right, we're going to let you go. I think we was willing to let them both go, for real, to be honest. Before Josh Sweat restructured. Hassan Reddick was never moving off his number, and I don't feel like he needed to be honest. Dude been one of the most productive pass rushers in the NFL for the past, 6 years? So he deserved to get some paper, bro. And I kind of knew it wasn't going to be here because we still got Devontae Smith coming up. We still got to pay him. We just signed Landon. And I ain't gonna lie, that little 14 mil we just got back off that tree that's enough to sign another player, man, another impact player for this team. So I knew Howie Roseman wasn't gonna keep both of them. I kind of wanted it to be Hassan Reddick more than Sweat, but I mean it is what it is, bro. I ain't gonna lie. We signed Bryce Huff. We still got Nolan. Hopefully he turned into a good pass rusher. I mean we still got Milton Williams. Like we still got a lot up front. So losing Hassan Reddick is big, but it's not as big as we think it is, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Another thing to that too, we heard Howie Roseman talk about it. You know, keeping his young guys, keeping the homegrown talent. You know, you look at Josh Sweat; he's gotten better every single year too, being on our football team. You know, he's last year he took a little dip at the end too, but overall gotten better as a player. And you know, he restructured it. And it's like one of them things I feel like I was like, we'll restructure with you. You gotta go show you can put it out and we'll pay you some more money. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll pay you some more money. He likes keeping that homegrownness. I think out of the two between him and Hassan Reddick, you know, I think he gave them both the opportunity to go out there and see who would actually pay him the money that they both wanted, right? And I think Sweat realized he wasn't getting paid that much. At the end of that season, like I told everybody, no one deserved a raise at the end of that season. No one, to be honest. If you were under contract, you gotta come play it. You know, again, that's what I would have did. All y'all can play again. None of y'all need no more bag. I mean, I'm talking the offense side too, the offense side of the ball too. None of y'all need no more money coming back. And, you know, he gave them opportunity, and I think they realized that they wouldn't go get the $25 million. You know, Reddick, you know, Howie's like, well, you know, I don't want to disrupt the player on my football team, so I'm going to do you solid. I'm going to slap you over there to the Jets. But, man, I think Sweaty.
Part, though. I think the reality is they told us from the very beginning that Hassan Reddick was a rental, right? They showed their hand very early, and this is why I say that. The year after they signed Hassan Reddick, you know, Hassan Reddick comes off of a 19.5 sack season. That's including the playoff numbers, right? So he gave you 19.5 sacks through 20 games, 17 in the regular season, 3 in the playoffs. He gave you 19.5 sacks through 20 games. That's pretty impressive, right? They still decided to draft Nolan Smith. So that was the first domino. They drafted Nolan Smith. The second domino, they bring back BG. The third domino, they restructure Sweat.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth domino, they decide to sign Bryce Huff to a $51 million deal, $17 million average salary. So they gave Bryce Huff money, they gave Josh Sweat money, they gave BG money, and they drafted Nolan Smith. Howie Roseman in this organization told you from the very beginning Hassan Reddick was a rental, and he was nothing more than that.
I like that aspect of it because that definitely better see like I said too. He said he wants to see his young guys play, and it's time to see what Nolan got. You know, everybody can't say that. Oh, put the pressure on him. Can he come in and feel Hassan Reddick's role? It's like for one, we're not expecting him to, but for two, you got to come out and he's a first round pick. You got to come out and ball, man. You know, some players do take 2 years or 3 years to get there, but we don't want to draft those players. We want to draft the players that can come in and make an impact as a rookie. And, he didn't do that. So now it's time for you. What are you doing this offseason? One thing I do love about the offseason, you start to see all these players like you've seen them 2 years ago, putting their videos out there. They're out there working. They're out there grinding. But I ain't seen a Nolan Smith video out there grinding. Not saying that he's not. But I'll be putting everybody on map now, letting them know that I am that dog you can trust on. And I'm out here putting my, 150% here to make sure that next year when I get on this football field, I won't let nobody down.
You really do your best work in the dark, though, bro. So it's like
I was literally about to say that. I prefer my guys that don't talk or my guys that don't show enough.
Your best work in the dark.
Hey Trey,
Go ahead.
Your mic out.
It sound crazy.
It was a second ago.
I sound now.
You good? What were you saying though? What were you guys saying?
I was saying you do your best work in the dark. It's like we never really saw videos of some of these great pass rushers really actually working on camera and stuff like that. It's like, bro, they all season they get their personal trainers. They go work with dudes that have been doing it. Aaron Donald retired, but you know he not staying away from the game. It's like, bro, it's people he could reach out to. Von Miller, he was working with Von Miller last year, so he doing his work, bro. The only thing that scared me about Nolan is the injury history. It's like, I mean, he is a smaller dude. I know Hassan Reddick was small, but Nolan even smaller than him, like size wise. And can he hold up for a 17-game season? That's all. That's the only. I know he gonna ball when he get on the field. It's just the durability aspect of it. That's the only thing that scared me about Nolan.
True Will says Bryce Huff is Reddick's replacement. Nolan Smith is Sweat's replacement. How you see that?
I'm willing to argue it's probably the opposite. Nolan, when they drafted him, what's the first thing we said? He built just like Reddick, top to bottom.
Yeah.
You know, Bryce Huff, 6'3", 250, 255. Sweat, about 6'5", 6'6", 260, 270. So Sweat is more so built like your prototypical pass rusher, you know what I'm saying? But we don't really know. Here's my thing about Bryce Huff, right? From a money perspective, I don't mind the money they gave him. Here's why. When you think about it in comparison to Hassan Reddick's initial contract that he signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, remember Hassan Reddick signed a 3-year, $45 million contract, $15 million preseason, $30 million guaranteed. So the first 2 years of the contract are guaranteed. Think about the Bryce Huff side. They give Bryce Huff 3 years, $51 million. Average salary, $17 million per season. $34 million guaranteed. The first 2 years guaranteed. So there's only really, when you think about it from a salary perspective, annually, there's only a $2 million difference between both players, right? Yeah. You got to take into account the salary cap going up. The salary cap goes up, the floor goes up with it. So 2 years from, 2 years from Hassan signing his deal in comparison to Bryce Huff, they basically signed the same contract. And I think Howie Roseman is basically taking the same gamble. The only difference is when you signed Reddick, he's coming off of 2 back-to-back seasons with double-digit sacks. I think both seasons were like 11 and 12 respectively, or maybe 12 and 10. I can't remember exactly what it was, but Hassan Reddick came off of a double-digit sack season with the Panthers and with the Cardinals. Bryce Huff coming off of a double-digit sack season with the Jets. So the only difference is the fact that one guy came off 2 back-to-back seasons, and one guy just came off 1 season that was, they had double-digit sacks. But I still think the gamble that they're taking when it comes to Bryce Huff is the fact that he's never really been a high snap count guy. He only contributed 42% of the defensive snaps. Only 42%. That's about, he played all 17 games, so that amounted to about 480, 485 total defensive snaps for him. So my concern is the motor, right? If the workload goes up, will the production go up with it? Or will the production plateau? Or will the production drop? We saw a guy in Josh Sweat last year who played a career high in snaps, and his production actually dropped in comparison to the prior year when his snap count was in the 60% or high 50s. This season, his snap count was in the mid 70s, maybe low 80s, something like that in terms of percentage. So that's my main concern when it comes to Bryce Huff. Can the motor match the workload? I'm curious to know what you guys think about that.
Want to go, Trey?
My mic still sound crazy.
I still hear echoing.
Yeah, it's just the echo. That's really what it is. So whenever one of us talk, we hear it. When you talk, I don't hear it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. My fault. I just muted once y'all started talking.
Okay.
All right. So ask the question again. Tell me my fault.
So basically, Bryce Huff, right? The motor. Do you guys have any concern about that, knowing that he's coming off of a season where his career high was 42% of the defensive snaps? I mean, granted, 10 sacks, but he only put up 480 defensive snaps, which is 42%. They're paying him to be one of their. He's their highest paid edge rusher right now, right? They're paying him to be basically their leading guy in terms of sacks.
Right.
Do you have any concerns about the workload going up and the production following? Because he's not used to playing that many snaps.
See, with me, just because we never seen a dude do it don't mean he can't. So
Right.
I'm
Agreed.
I'm more of a wait and see. But you got to understand why he didn't play that many snaps. The way they ran their defense, he was more of the pass rusher. Then you had Jeremiah Johnson. You had dudes like that, bigger DNs that could play the run on run stop downs and stuff like that. So it wasn't necessarily he couldn't play the run or nothing like that. It's just the way their defense was set up. And like I said, if you coming over here, you getting that much money, you automatically have to play more snaps. So we're gonna see if he can or not. But I don't feel like he was put in many situations where he had to play the run or he had to play more snaps. They had like a 4-man defensive end rotation. And it was like when I watched them, it worked effectively because nobody got tired. Like I said, the bigger DNs they worked on rundowns, and Bryce Huff coming there on beating up on the tackle, coming up the edge with speed. These dudes tired. They've been fighting against big DNs all game. Now he just coming in, just flying past them. So I feel like it was a good strategy. Now him coming over here with the Philadelphia Eagles and sign Reddick leaving, he's definitely going to have to play more snaps now. And like I said, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Nolan gonna have to play more snaps this year, so we're gonna see.
Exactly, and that's I think that's the bigger question, right? Nolan, because if he don't play well, that turned that 4-man rotation into a 3-man rotation.
Yeah, like Phil said, it's a 4-man rotation. So like the whole 47% type thing to me is not that big of a deal. Like he's gonna play 50, maybe hoping maybe a little bit over 50. We got enough, we're gonna be running more traditional outside linebackers anyway a lot of the time. So it's not like this guy's gonna be forced out there to have to play more time. We're basically paying him for what he's already doing, and I hope that he can do it at a little bit higher level with a couple of more extra snaps out there. I don't think it's going to be some dramatic change. All of a sudden, this guy's, playing, 70% of the snaps, anything like that. It's just like 50% maybe, like around that 50 mark. I think that's where you're going to find him at, this year on our football team, just because our whole defensive line switches in and out. All these boys are in and out, in and out. That's what keeping them fresh. That's keeping them out there, making these big plays all the time. So I think he's just drawing in another, another rotation. And as long as he performs at a high level when he's in there, man, that's all that really matters. If he goes in there, plays another 47 this year, and he still throws out there another 10 sack season, man, we're gonna be like, all right, he did his thing, So that's all that really matters. Like some of the best years we had as we weren't leading the leagues in sack, and the other year we went to Super Bowl and lost, we did lead the league in sack. But if you look at the one we won, a lot of players had scattered stats all over the place. So, like, it wasn't nothing like where you had one guy just playing good defense at the end of the day. As long as these guys are out there playing good defense, doing what they're supposed to do, being in a position where they need to be, when the time is right, then that's all we need these guys to go out there and do. Like no one would have been crying about the 11 sacks or even nothing on defense if we would have finished the season out better last year. Everybody would have stellar years. Everybody thought that the Eagles were the greatest team in the world. And so that to me wasn't really the players. It had a little bit more to do with the coaching and the players in terms of not believing in coaching no more. I'm saying? Like these guys all bomb, and we're just trying to get that taste out of our mouth this year and bring up something new.
And on some real, the only reason Reddick not here for real is age, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Of course,
that's the only reason. Because how we pay offensive and defensive linemen. It's just he's not about to invest in the future with a 30-year-old pass rusher that can burn out any day. It's like, I'm not saying Sam Reddick is, but still though, history show you that you don't pay them dudes that type of money, bro. Yeah, I feel like if he would have came down a little bit, it would have been. I feel like we could have hit a medium, but that's top pass rusher money, right?
Let me ask you a question real quick, Trey Rock. What do you think? Because you're right? The reality is, like I said earlier, I think I said this before you came on. Whatever new contract he signs, it's going to take effect when by the time it takes effect, he'll be 31. So you're going to be paying. So you're going to be paying a 31-year-old edge rusher 25, whatever number he's looking for, 25, 26 $1 million, maybe 24. But I think he's looking for between 24 and 26. But let's just say 25, right? Paying a 31-year-old edge rusher 25 who's undersized, relies heavily on speed. again, I mean, both teams I think are taking a gamble respectively. So it's really interesting to see how this thing plays out in the end. Again, I would have loved to keep Hassan Reddick in this building. You know, I never was for the trade, never. But I think Harry Roseman's trying to put on. You know, again, it's funny. There was a moment I think when Saquon Barkley came into the building and they had like a little thing on YouTube. You know, him showing him going around the building, and somehow, some way, I think somebody got a screenshot of this clip where you see something written on Howie's board, and it basically said, in order to win Super Bowls, you gotta take a gamble that can lose you your job. Something like that. You know, you gotta be willing to take risks that can lose you your job. And that was interesting because at the end of the day, man, that's life.
That's life.
Man. So
you know, people that play it scared, they don't get nowhere. The ones that take chances in life, you know, that actually get up there. You know, sometimes the chance, you know, you don't get it, but you gotta be willing. You can't let one, you know, unfortunate situation, you know, stop you from continuing to keep taking chances in life. That's what we're here for. We're here to take chances, you know, and enjoy. So it's like, yeah, we always used to remember we used to all hate on Howie from all the chances he took before, and now we love him from all the chances he's been taking. So it's gonna go back and forth regardless. Are they gonna all be winners? No. Are they gonna, you know, are you gonna get some bums out of there? Yeah, of course. You know, and no one even said nothing about how we had freaking what's the old Uncle Elroy on our team? What's his name? Quinn.
Robert Quinn.
Robert Quinn on the whole year didn't do a damn thing. We gave him a couple $1 million. He didn't do a damn thing all season. No one even said nothing about it. He was going to be one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that go unnoticed all the time, and it's crazy how the things is. But I want to show two clips. You know, first I want to show you Hassan Reddick, and you guys tell me in his body language, what do you think this man is thinking right now?
I love it. You know, you got dogs at each level on the defense, literally, from inside interior guys like Quinnen, Kinlaw, even on the outside, Jermaine, Will, you know, JFM. You look at the inside linebackers, you got CJ Mosley, Quincy, like those two guys are just dogs themselves. And then even, you know, for DB, Sauce, he speaks for, you know, his name speaks for himself, you know. And then even seeing like DJ Reed and what he's done over the last couple of years, and you know the name that he's making for himself. I'm happy to be around a group of guys like this, a talented roster such as this one. It's going to be fun, man. I don't think anybody's ready for what's about to happen, but it's going to be fun, and it's going to be fun to watch as well.
That sounds like Cap to me.
I mean, they do got
names. Heard Hassan Reddick do press conferences, and he didn't sound energetic at all about that. It sounded like he was forced to go up there and say this out of his mouth to the fans, man. I didn't even look at it. I can't even tell you he's going to get double-digit sacks after watching that interview, just looking at him. He does not seem enthused about it. He named off a lot of good players, but he didn't seem excited about the situation. You know, it's like, that's crazy.
I'm not even going to lie to you. That's Hassan Reddick though. I've seen him in a lot of interviews. That's him. Like he's never like too up or too down. So you can't really tell by the body language what he's thinking. But I'm not gonna lie, the Jets have a sturdy defense. They got a sturdy defense, bro. Like they got a top 5-ish, top 10 defense. Now the thing that always killed the Jets was the quarterback situation. I mean, they always had top defenses. So I feel like he's going to come in there. He's going to fit in well. He's going to fit in well with that whole situation. And, I mean, he's going to a good situation. It's just how Aaron Rodgers is going to be when he come back. Or can y'all find a backup quarterback that can hold fort? I mean, the defense wasn't really giving up crazy numbers this year. They was holding people to 17, 20 points a game. It's just they couldn't score no points. So it was like, man. So he's going to a great situation. How are you going to do him dirty? I mean, they ain't sending him to like, who a horrible team. I don't even know. They sent him like the Patriots, something like that.
After,
yeah, like they sent him to a team where he'd come in, he'd fit in like seamlessly. They got dogs at the corner position. They got dogs at safety, linebacker, D tackle, DNs. Bro, he gonna fit in great with them dudes.
Yeah, he'll be all right. Look, I can't really take much from that press conference. I mean, he sounded exactly how he normally sounds any other time, if you ask me. Look, he's always been a player that understood the business, and this ain't the first time he got moved. So this is the second. This is the
third.
Third. This got to be this is the third time he got moved. So I mean, this is par for the course for his career, and because of his stature and the way he plays the game, a lot of teams find it hard to really commit to him long term, right? Because he got moved. So Panthers, Eagles, Jets.
Cards.
So yeah. Well, I don't count because that's not technically a move, right?
Yeah, you right.
Yeah. So yeah. Third time, but I think he'll be all right. Look, at the end of the day, from a defensive perspective, he's in a good situation. From a defensive perspective, their offense is where all the questions is. That's just
if A-Rod stay healthy or not.
That's my whole. And again, right? I think Howie Roseman, and let's talk about the compensation. I really think a lot of people said, "Damn, only one pick. That's all you got from him." And the Eagles really didn't have that as much leverage as many people really thought, right?
But you look at the money too, getting that much more money off your books, and getting that much more salary cap this year. That's just like adding
another
to the
part. People got to remember, you had to convince them. You had to convince the Jets not only to pay him, right? Because that's a sign and trade situation. They don't make that trade unless they're gonna pay him. So you had to convince them to pay him. Not only pay him, you had to convince them to pay him at the age of 30. And he's going to be 31 when the new contract starts. And then on top of that, you had to convince them to take on a $21.2 million cap hit. That's three things that shot you negotiating in the foot. So them getting what they got, I mean,
all we had to do
I didn't expect them. Listen, my whole thing was get a second round pick. If you can't get a second, get a third in the player. So okay, they got a third, but it could turn into a second, and it's 2026. Yeah, it's 2 years down the line. But Howie Roseman is taking a gamble. He's willing to gamble that the Jets will be bad in 2 years. And that's not a gamble that I'm totally against. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers will be here 2 years.
Everybody say we didn't sign Huff because he's a free agent. I understand that part, but he's from the Jets, and we're paying him $17 million. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you still get a player at the position. You're getting I think second round pick. Reddick's with 17 games. We're about to move to 18 games too. They're trying to push for. You're going to get 10 sacks, you know what I'm saying? So on that Jets defensive line with those linebackers and those defensive tackles and stuff they have over there. So, all right, one last thing on this Reddit thing. What about what our Eagles great Hugh Douglas said earlier on WIP?
I know the 10 sacks are one of those things that people look at and be like, that production is not going to be, duplicated, anything like that. I'm going to tell you like this, man. In a small sampling size, I think Bryce Huff has the potential of being a better pass rusher. And I know people look at me and they're like, "Oh man, you're crazy, Hassan." Man, go look at his rushes compared to Hassan Reddick rushes. And the reason why I feel that way, because he's more of a physical rusher. He has, to me, more of an ability to strike fear in the heart of a tackle and beat a tackle in a one-on-one situation than Hassan Reddick. Now, Hassan Reddick is fast. There's no question about that, and he beats a lot of people off the corner. But the physicality that Bryce plays with, I really like, and I think that's what's missing in this game today.
We're going to see.
I agree.
We're going to see. My biggest thing about Bryce Huff was the fact that, he's bigger. He's a bigger body. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be able to set the edge a little better and run defense. Probably can play goal line a little better. Just an overall bigger body. 6'3", 255 pounds. Hassan Reddick was 6'1", 240. So I'm optimistic about the size. I'm optimistic about the skill set. But at the end of the day, they gambling. They gambling. And that's just how we're going in this league. You gotta. I'm always going to respect the team for swinging. You know what I mean? I don't respect teams that stand at the plate and only, settle for the ball, right? Listen, if you're swinging, I'll put it this way. I feel like Howie Roseman is the Bryce Harper of GMs, right? He don't care if it's a sinker. He don't care if it's a curve. He don't care if it's a fastball. He don't care what it is. He's swinging on the first pitch. And I can respect the mindset. I can respect the game. You mentioned Robert Quinn. He swung. Kevin Byard, he swung. All those guys. You got in this league, and you try to win Super Bowls, you got to take swings. And sometimes you go swing at pitches that nobody understands. A la trading Hassan Reddick. That's a pitch he swung at. And we're gonna find out if he knocked it out the park. We're gonna find out if it's a strike. We're gonna find out what if it's an infield. You know, we're gonna find out if it's a double or single. We're gonna find out exactly what it is. But overall, man, this defense objectively, you take Hassan Reddick out of the team, your defense objectively got a little bit worse. That's just the reality because you took away production.
Okay.
Now what are you gonna do to replace the production?
Hey, since you said that, right? But are you adding the fact that it got better when we got Huff? So now you're taking away a subtraction, so we're pretty much back.
That's an unknown still, in my opinion. It's still relatively an unknown, in my humble opinion, because we haven't seen him perform for us. You know, just how Hassan Reddick is an unknown for the Jets. They taking a gamble by trading for him and paying him. They taking a gamble. That could end up being a steal for them. But we're not gonna know until the season starts. So I can't say what Bryce Huff is or what he ain't. I'm not calling him
the fact he's on our team.
I mean, we got a lot of guys on this team. Last year we had guys on this team and things.
Huff, White, you know, adding all these guys as a whole. So are you saying that we're a worse team as in general, or do you think? Well, how about this? Put it against the defense from last year. Going into last year, is this a better defense going into this year already? Still with all the new pieces, or do you think Hassan is that big of a drop where it's like we kind of a little bit worse than last year?
No, he basically saying if you take a double-digit sack guy off your football team, you getting relatively worse, bro. It's like
You added a double-digit sack
way
guy.
you try to slice it though. It's like Hassan Reddick was a big factor of this football team, and subtracting him and bringing in an unknown, you got a little worse until proven otherwise. It's like, I mean, so with the Hugh Douglas thing, I agree with him on some of his points. I feel like Huff is a more physical rusher, where he's not just trying to beat you off the edge. He can give you violent hands. He can give you those swim moves. He can give you those spin moves. He varies in his pass rush. Hassan Reddick was more of a bust through your outside shoulder, get up the field, go get the quarterback type, and beating tackles and stuff with speed. Huff could give you way more than that. So that's also the reason I said we never really seen him in a lot of run situations, but I feel like he could do it because he got violent hands and he's strong and he's fast and physical. So, I mean, like I said, it's a wait and see. But you definitely get worse if you take a Hassan Reddick off your football team.
That being said, is it that much worse to the point where now you think the Eagles going to trade their draft, you know, strategy and go out and go get an edge rusher that first round pick?
I don't think so.
You muted.
My bad, you guys. Sorry about that. I think honestly, if I had to guess, that first round pick is either going to be, if I had to rank it between three positions, knowing this team, I wouldn't be surprised if they go. And this is not what I want, by the way. This is what I think they might do because this is the Philadelphia Eagles here.
Like this, are you saying it's all about the impact of the trade, or are you just saying in general? Did that change when Hassan got traded? Did you have three other? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Did the Hassan Reddick trade impact the draft board?
I mean, it has to. It has to. But even then, though, knowing the Philadelphia Eagles and just knowing how they move, I wouldn't be surprised if they go O-line in the first round. I wouldn't be surprised. But here's another thing, too. This is a very deep tackle draft, very deep offensive tackle draft. They don't really got to go first round for an offensive tackle. They really don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should get their DB early. You don't want to wait till you get your DB. I think they need to go corner in the first round. That's my honest opinion. Go corner in the second round. So, all right, they got a first rounder in 2 seconds, right? If it was me, I'm going corner, edge / linebacker. If I'm done, I'm going corner, edge, linebacker, and then I can get an offensive lineman after that. That's my mindset. I think they need to go defense the first 3 picks. However you want to slice it, they need to go defense.
I feel like this whole draft should be defense, to be honest. We could slip in an offensive player, probably an offensive tackle, or if you want to go get a third wide receiver in the later rounds or something like that. But this draft should be focused on defense because if you look at our main positions, we are old at them. Corner, old. Linebacker, we we keep playing with the older guys, going and dipping into that 1 year contracts. No, we needed somebody that's going to be in this defense for at least 4 to 5
White,
years.
he's like 26, and if he balls out, I think how he's going to extend him.
Yeah, but no, like White 26, but I'm talking about a dude you could even stash this year. Like he don't gotta even touch the field for real. I mean, unless you blowing somebody out or something like that, he getting those kind of reps. But we need somebody that's gonna lead because like Philadelphia Eagles faith in the Kobe Dean right now, like the fans, is probably like 2%. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The dude we ain't really see him on the field too much. So we're gonna definitely need somebody that's either gonna come in and they can start day one, or one of those dudes you can stash and he's not like a fourth, fifth rounder like a Sean Bradley. He really a dog that just gotta learn. We need something like that. He could be a staple of his defense for years to come. So I mean, my top three would be corner. We definitely gotta go corner. We got to get the best corner out there, bro, that we can get at that pick. Then linebacker. Then we can mess around with the edge or if we need to and all that. And then, yeah, like Tone said, probably offensive lineman or something because we not really hurting on the offensive side of the ball. Even when it comes to our backup offensive lineman and stuff, we got some vets. We got some vets in there that could come in. We got swing tackle. We got all that, and we got Jeff Stoutland, bro. I feel like he could coach up anybody. So we definitely gotta go hard on the defensive draft, like hard.
I feel like I agree with you guys to a certain extent, but I don't. Like, how many more new defensive players do you want? Like, you gotta realize, like, how many cornerbacks do we have that you need? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're trying to get these guys, you heard Howie say you want to get some of these guys some real playing time, right? You look at that Ricks, Joe, McPherson. You know what I'm saying? These are McPherson we drafted, Rips, Joe. They played good, pretty good last year when they got in there. And then you got Rogers coming this year, who's supposed to be, you know, a Pro Bowl caliber type cornerback too. That's four cornerbacks that we don't even know how good they are because they haven't even got an opportunity to really show how good they really are. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still young, or 1 or 2 years deep. You know what I'm saying? So why is everybody so pressed to go grab another cornerback, young cornerback? Like this, I know, like I see these cornerbacks and they look good and all whatever, but most of these guys that look good, they're on teams that were, you know, like they're not Alabama. They're not Kool-Aid. You go get something like Kool-Aid or Arnold, but even those guys, like all of them are going to take time probably to adapt in the pros. None of them are going to come out and be your stars day one because they're not doing nothing with Bradbury. They're not doing nothing with Slay this year. So it's like you already got people in the wings for those guys, like 4 other supposedly talented cornerbacks. Ringo too. Yeah, I forgot about Ringo too. Ringo too. That's 5. That's 5 young cats that played some pretty decent ball when they had the opportunity. Like why is everybody still clamoring so much to go get another cornerback to throw in that mix? Like so we can have 6 guys that aren't going to get very much playing time and be sitting back there, and we're not going to undevelop none of them. And then we're going to end up with 6 all right high prospect cornerbacks moving forward. Come on now. I feel like going number one for cornerback is just, I don't know. I'm not really feeling that one that much. I think we can't trade up and go get a guy like Latu, you know, and that help our defensive end rotation out. But I don't know, man. We got a lot of cornerbacks, Ringles, Rogers, you know, Ricks. Everybody was loving when Ricks was playing last year. Everybody was loving when, you know, Joe was doing good. McPherson got hurt all year, but before he got hurt, he was even playing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Before he did get hurt. So it's like, we got a lot of cornerbacks, guys.
I mean, look, every team has a lot of cornerbacks, right? You need them. You know, guys playing special teams, guys playing nickel. Like every team got a lot of corners, right? And all those guys are not going to make the roster for one. But also, none of those guys have shown me anything that make me feel like they solidified. You know what I'm saying? Like if, you know, look, Ringo, yeah, he has all the measurables, has all the athleticism, you like. I'm not going to debate that. But none of those guys, really, in my humble opinion, I'm 100% sure about. I'm just not. And also, you know, I will say this to your point. I'll say this to your point. The Eagles don't have the best luck with drafting corners, right? To your point. So maybe they don't draft one, but they definitely need to think about life beyond Darius Slay and James Bradbury. And I'll tell you this right now. There's no corner in this roster that's shown me anything to make me believe they willing to take over for Darius Slay. And say what you want about Bradbury, there's nobody on this team that's shown me that they're able to take that over full time. Nobody.
But no one's really had the opportunity either.
Yes,
Well,
they
you're
did.
not. I mean,
Yes,
it's
they
hard.
did.
Playing, Bradbury been playing. I think they missed a total of 4 games
missed
last
like
2
5
years.
games last season.
If they're playing, you're not going to be able to see someone take over if they're playing.
Darius Slay missed like 5 games last season, bro.
Good point. Good
And
point.
that's when everybody started loving Riggs. When he was out there,
Riggs wasn't playing outside though.
They were switching it out. It was Riggs, Rangel, and Joe all rotating in.
Riggs was playing the nickel for most of that time. He was playing the nickel, and what's the name slid outside? What's the Ringo? Ringo slid outside.
But guess what, Trey? You already said, right? He said that they was rotating those guys on the outside, right? You rotating.
Why you think they had to
what?
rotate them?
because they all was getting cooked and they was throwing shit at the wall until it stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like they literally was.
Everybody know if you're a starter, you get certain reps. If you're not a starter, you don't get those reps. Period.
No, don't even talk about Josh Jobs. He was getting French toast crunch, bro. Every time he was out there, they need to move him to safety or something because he can't cover nobody. Ricks, I like Ricks. He's scrappy. I don't want him out there full time as of right now, but he's scrappy though. You need somebody to come off the bench and fight a little bit. He'd come up. He'd put his hands on receivers. I like him. Ringo, he was a rookie last year, right? So you get what you get out of that. I mean, some people have phenomenal rookie season, some people don't. I mean, I feel like he's gonna be a player though in the NFL. Ricks and Ringo. I feel like they're gonna be players, but you still gotta prepare for losing Bradbury and Slay because they both going at it this season. Both of them.
It don't have to be in a draft. We could do a trade or, there's going to be free agent cornerbacks coming out. But look, he has 2 good points. He says, are you more sure about an unproven rookie? Any rookie we draft, they're unproven just as much as, Riggs, Job, Rodgers, all these guys. They're more unproven than any of these guys going into the NFL against NFL caliber receivers. And, and then also last year, because our scheme was trash. Those are 2 really good points that Trill got. Our scheme was trash.
It's a fair question. So,
players being trash in a trash scheme. I remember the damn press conference Byard had. He was like, we gotta just play what's called. A lot of these players were talking about we just playing what's called. Like they knew the scheme was trash. And they're out there. Why you get burned this way? Well, it wasn't really me. It's more of the scheme of why I got cooked on this play. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to be that hardcore, like he said, like, will you be more, you're not willing to give these guys another year to see which one of these guys could step up, and take over that spot? Or you just
give them another year? I'm just saying we still need to bring more talent in too, though. Like, we can't just rest our laurels on them. It's like, all right,
and that's
now we got Ricks and all them, and we bought another guy in that could potentially fight for that spot. It ain't no harm of bringing in players to challenge other players.
But a first round pick though, like a first round pick need to play. I feel like a first round pick need to play. Like we always talk about, oh yeah, they don't, when you got talent that's good, they can sit back. But a lot of these players, a lot of football players in general need to play. You know what I'm saying? You see them on the sideline too long, they don't play as well. They're not as good. They need to play. And their first round pick, you're picking them in the first round for a reason because they're talented enough to play football. So they need to play, I feel like. You don't do that with Landon Dickerson or like one of these big offensive linemen that's a first round talent. You go play him without a question. Even last year we went and played, Jurgens, at guard, because we're going to get you out there. We're playing you right now. Let's go. You playing. So that's how I got to be on the defensive side of the ball too. Got to go play these boys.
Before we even like get out of here, and since we talking about first round draft picks, how y'all feel about Jordan Davis with Fletcher Cox leaving? How y'all feel about Jordan Davis?
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad because for me personally, I love the skill set. I love the athleticism when he's on. You know what I'm saying? I love the size, all that kind of stuff, right? My biggest concern, and I spoke about this when I was on Simone Stanley's show. My biggest concern is that motor, right? Can that motor last beyond week 12, week 13? That's my biggest concern. The motor, the conditioning, the stamina, all that stuff falls into the same pot for me. You know what I'm saying? Eric Stewart, what's going on, my man? But you know, all that stuff falls in the same pot for me. Can he hold up from a stamina and a motor standpoint? And as of right now, he has not proven that. So that's why I keep harping on the Jordan Davis thing, even Jalen Carter. And granted, he was a rookie, so I'm not really putting too much pressure on him because I know he's going to come in and do his thing. But Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, they're quite literally the heart of this defense. Howie Roseman spent back-to-back seasons drafting those guys in the first round. 2 first-round picks, both guys in the top 13. They have to work. They have to work. And on top of that, Jordan Davis entering year 3, at the end of this season, they're going to have to decide if they're going to pick up that 5th-year option. And as of right now, he's not on pace to pick up that 5th-year option. This season can change everything. But that Jordan Davis situation, I know a lot of people say, hey, you know, Jordan Davis, he's going to be all right. Don't just be so calm about Jordan Davis' situation. His Fletcher Cox retiring this year shocked all of us. A lot of people said they thought he had another year left, or even 2 years left, right? Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, they got to be the guys. That situation, in my opinion, is dire. They cannot not pan out. That's going to be the ultimate setback for this Philadelphia Eagles defense if Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter don't pan out. But most notably Jordan Davis, because I think Carter going to pan out. I've seen too much from him. But Jordan Davis, if he don't pan out, that's going to set this franchise back, quite literally.
I feel like we've already seen it. He's not that guy you guys are talking about. Like, everybody act like his rookie year, before he got hurt, he didn't help us become the #1 run stopper. Like, he's doing the one part. Like, everybody's expecting the sack part to come up more, you know, because that's what we were hoping about. His freakish size and athleticism is going to get him so many more sacks. He's going to be the next this and that, this and that. But in terms of the run stopping, he's been doing his damn job since he's been playing. You know, we were top 5 whenever he's in the game. Period. Even last year, before everybody fell off at the end of the season, when those 10-game win streak, guess what? We're still high and stopping the run because Jordan Davis was there to help plug them holes. You know, like Jordan Davis, he told you when he flamed out. After he ran down Josh Allen on the sideline, he goes, I was gassed. But for me, I feel like everybody was gassed. It's like the reverse of a Super Bowl hangover. Usually the Super Bowl hangover, the team comes in the next season, they suck. You know what I'm saying? Straight off the bat. I feel like, no, we didn't really suck off the bat, but we were looking like we kind of did. You know, we were just pulling these wins out, and everybody got gas at the end of the season, man. The short off season, everybody got gas. No excuse. They're football players. They get paid a lot of money. They should be in shape. But he got gas. He even came out and said he got gas, man. They were all gas.
And that's the problem.
Last year. But when he was playing up to that 10, 11 week, he was doing his damn thing, man. Jordan Davis wasn't the problem.
Yes, he was, because at the end of the day, at the end of the day,
double team him. As long as they're double teaming Jordan Davis,
he was part of the problem.
A sack or anything. If they're double teaming him, he's doing the job.
BG, hold that man accountable, yo. He was a part of the problem, you know. And I got to get out of here. But my last point is this about Jordan Davis. I believe in the talent. Make me or help me believe in the motor. It's just that simple. At the end of the day, he ran out of gas. The run defense starts with him. It starts with him. And how we go from giving up an average of 60 yards per game, and then after the bye week, y'all giving up an average of 140, 150 yards. After the bye week, you got the week off. After the bye week, y'all decided to, we gassed. Huh? Something not adding up. So, again, last season was last season. I'm expecting a lot from him this season, and I'm excited. I'm ultimately excited to see it. But you guys, I got to get out of here, man. I really appreciate
it. I know you had to go, my guy. My bad.
Yeah.
Hey, salute to you for stopping by, my guy. We're gonna wrap this up shortly. We're gonna hit a couple more talks before we get out of here. But hey, like I said, ain't no Bird Brain podcast without our boy Tone the Shields, man. Make sure you guys, everybody, go subscribe to Tone the Shields, Chalk It Up Sports, man. YouTube, man. Like it. We definitely keep in touch. Get you on another ones.
Definitely, man. Trey Rock, I appreciate you, my brother. BG, I appreciate you. Make sure you go check me out on Chalk It Up Sports on YouTube. Just search Chalk It Up Sports. I might pop up on your feed. I might pop up on your suggestion on your homepage, but just go lock in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge us to the game. I appreciate y'all. As always, love. I'm gonna catch up with y'all. Okay.
All right, but much love. Yeah. So.
All right. So for me, look, it's more of a Okay. Even in college, Jordan Davis wasn't a pass rusher for real. He was a run plugger, an athletic dude that could chase running backs down from sideline to sideline. But when does your game evolve? We can't just keep saying this first rounder that we took to eventually replace Fletcher Cox is just a run stuffer, bro. The NFL is not even run based no more. So it's like, did we waste a first round pick on this dude? Because I don't really see him. I don't really see him getting better. I don't see him evolving. I see him being the same dude. He's the same dude. He's not a pass rusher. He can take on double teams. All right, probably clear up some stuff for linebackers. But when are you going to become an all-around player? He's not an all-around player. He's a one-dimensional dude that burns out, that can't play more than 40-50% of the snaps. So did we waste the first-round pick on him?
No, I don't feel like we did. Hey, salute to you, Twitch. Yeah, that is his thing. And you are Mike. Go ahead and drop all links inside there. Get One Trade Rocks link up in there. Everybody needs to subscribe to everybody. We are some of the best YouTubers out there in terms of Philadelphia Eagles content. You definitely want to be subscribed to all of us. We do different times, different things, and we have our own opinions, maybe. So, but it's all, love for the Philadelphia Eagles. But looking out on that one. Like I said, man, the defensive coach, the scheme, the coaching. You see everybody bring up the Georgia days. He didn't have to do anything in Georgia. He was who he was. He was winning championships, and they didn't need him to do anything more. Yes, do we need him to do a little bit more? But it's not like he doesn't get sacks. Jordan Davis got sacks before. He's not like killing the charge for sacks, but he still gets them. He gets sacks from time to time. He blows up holes behind the line of scrimmage. He tackles and stuff like that. So I don't feel like Jordan Davis was a problem last year. I don't feel like Jordan Davis cannot replace, we're going to be running a different defense. So I don't feel like he have to truly replace Fletcher Cox, but he's doing what we want him to do. You know what I'm saying? We keeping those linebackers clean. He's clogging up holes. He's getting double and triple team, and that's really all you want. When you look at the production, yeah, it could be a little bit better. We want him to be a little bit better. We want him to be a little bit more in shape, of course, because you're your third year now. You should get used to it by now. What's calling upon you this year to go out there and get your fat ass in shape and be ready to play some fucking football. But at the end of the day, as long as he's getting double and triple team, man, he's doing his job. At the end of the day, he's doing his job regardless if he's getting the stats with it or not. He's doing his job. Because guess what? If two people has blocking him, right? If two people is blocking him, then that means somebody's coming free. That means somebody's getting less attention to. And the best part was when him, if you remember the part of the season where Jalen Carter was on top of his game too, Jalen was getting a lot of one-on-ones, and they were both getting double teamed at one point. I remember seeing both of them double teaming the game. And if you got both of your DTs double teaming the game, guess who's open? Your edge rushers, your linebackers, you know what I'm saying, to get sacks and stuff. And that's when Hassan Reddick was rocking up all them sacks. Those sacks from Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick went down when there was no pressure from JD and Jalen Carter. Everybody dropped, man. Everybody dropped. When they were getting that pressure early in the season, they were both having nice season. They're both on pace. Sweat was on pace for double-digit sacks too. So they're doing their jobs. It's just not it's not the sexy job. But I think they told you when he first got here, it's not going to be the sexy. But he knew what he was coming here to do. He's here to clog holes and get double team. Center and guards. Worst nightmares, you know what I'm saying? Pushing back on these boys. That's what he's here to do. And I think he's been doing it pretty well. Even during a slide, it's like you cannot not double team him. That's the problem. You cannot not do it. You have to, regardless, no matter what. So since you have to, that is something that you can't quantify on a stat paper.
I don't know, bro. I just feel like we need to see more production out of him for where he was drafted at. He was a top 10 pick. You draft a dude top 10 just to
what is 13? He was 13.
He was 13? I thought he was like, oh yeah, all right, well, he's a top 15 pick. I mean, he was your first overall pick. I believe he's gonna get better too. I feel like you need to drop a little weight, get a little bit quicker, and get a little bit more pass rush moves in his arsenal. But that come over time. It can come over time. Everybody not gonna come in and just be Aaron Donald, Fletcher Cox. They're not just gonna come in and be. They gotta work for that over time. I still feel like he needs to get better.
Remember, that's one thing we were crying about Fletcher too. Like, why aren't you getting sacks? You know, for a long time we're crying about Fletcher. That's why they said, "Oh, Aaron Donald's the best defensive tackle, but Fletcher's the best run stopping defensive tackle." You know what I'm saying? Because in terms of stopping that run, Fletcher always stopped the run. He wasn't getting the sacks though. You know, and that's what we expected more out of him. So it's like DT. You know, not like you said, there's not a million Aaron Donalds out there, and you're not going to see a million come through the league, you know, at all. You know, it's like a one-on-one type situation. You know, like it's not going to be too many of these tackles coming through here, like Aaron Donald. So before we get out of here, I did want to touch on the offensive side of the ball real fast. Get your outlook on this. The new 99 overall Philadelphia Eagles. With our boy Saquon Barkley, baby, him and Hurts out there getting that working, man. I don't know. Like I told people, I remember when I first started telling people we started thinking about the offseason. I was like, man, we just need to go get, you know, Saquon Barkley. Like if he's tripping, just go get him. Like we get Saquon. They're like, no, we don't want Saquon. He's too hurt. He's too injured. You know, he hasn't done nothing. I'm like, Saquon is a game changer. And I am full aboard with the whole. And I even think he's going to be better than CMC. You know, CMC's Offensive Player of the Year, almost MVP. I think Saquon on the Eagles this year can be an MVP candidate. Tell me how you feeling about that.
Bro, you take this Saquon Barkley pickup. This take the Eagles to a whole another level offensive wise, especially with us getting Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is a dude that is creative with his offense. He's giving the football to his running backs in the passing game. He's scheming up plays where his running backs could get single coverage on linebackers, and so I think that it's going to be a fun year. If we're not a top 3, top 5 offense this year, bro, something got to give. Like Saquon Barkley, man, he give us that impact that Christian McCaffrey give the 49ers. The 49ers were a good football team, but Christian McCaffrey came and took their offense over the top because he's so dynamic out of the backfield. It's going to be fun this year, bro. It's going to be fun watching this team this year. That's all I really got to say about it.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to take the next level. I do feel like we do need a third receiver. You know, I think Campbell and Parker are going to have their own individual plays and individual times, like goal line more Parker, Campbell just like out of the blue deep pass. But I want to go get a solid, you know, I watched a lot of these guys coming in the draft, you know, at the Senior Bowl, and like all these family connections, you know, the McCaffreys. Luke McCaffrey looks awesome out there as a receiver. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Rice's son, Brendan Rice, another one I've seen live. Awesome out there on the football field. Big physical receiver who can possibly take over for AJ one day type of situation. Leggett, awesome receiver out there that I feel like is AJ Brown right now and only can get better as he gets older. You know, and if you look for more slot guys like, you know, Ladd from Georgia or Wilson from Michigan, like those are nice possession type third receivers you can throw out there. But I think you get bigger physical guys like a Leggett, like a Brendan Rice, because you're gonna want to throw Smitty in the slot. You're gonna want to throw AJ in the slot. You're gonna want to throw these guys in the slot, and you just gotta still have a guy that's good enough on the outside to make these big plays. And you know, I know I am a USC boy, so you know I like throwing out there my USC talent. But you know, Brendan Rice is the truth, and his daddy's Jerry Rice. Okay, to even have Jerry Rice at your practice talking to your receivers every day is a plus. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge plus. You know, you're the greatest receiver ever. You know, come and see his boy play. It's a huge plus. But I want to see the Eagles go out there and draft one of these guys. And most of them you can get in like the late second, third round too. That's a plus. You ain't gotta go spend no first round pick. I know everybody want to go spend the first round pick, go get, you know, Worthy because he ran the fastest 40 ever, man. None of these cats that run the fastest 40 ever to pan out to be anything worth a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Tyreek Hill, maybe. Okay, that's one. You know, but I can name a million other guys that ran 4.2 40s that didn't turn out to be crap in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you think this offense is missing?
I'm not even gonna lie. That Worthy pick is a sexy pick, bro. I ain't gonna lie. If he could somehow slip to us in the first round, bro. You gotta picture this though. Devontae, AJ, Saquon, and Worthy. Dude, not just a fast runner. He's a great receiver too. If you
He's not
watch
even
him at
a
Texas,
player on his team. His
he's not.
co-partner is supposed to be drafted well ahead of him. Mitchell's supposed to be drafted
So,
well ahead of him. Mitchell is a
who?
first receiver.
You talking about Texas Mitchell? He's not
Mm-hmm.
better than Worthy, bro. You tripping. You tripping, bro. He's not better than
His
Worthy.
draft stock is. He's considered a better prospect right now.
Hey, nah, when the last time you looked at the mock drafts and stuff, you ain't see Mitchell in there over top of no Worthy, bro. He not just no fast receiver. He run good routes. He know how to use his hands. He get open. He got good hands too. And he's a home run hitter. So if we could get somebody like that in our offense that you gotta respect going over the top. Because we don't really have that right now. Paris Campbell, he's still fast, but he's not considered no dangerous deep threat or nothing like that. Worthy is like more of a DJ. He can run past you. He can catch it quick and go around you, take it down the field, bro. It's like, dude, like he gonna be dynamic. If you get with the right team, the right quarterback, the right
The right
offensive situation,
coordinator,
he's gonna
right?
be dynamic.
It's the right coordinator, I feel like. And if
Mm-hmm.
that's the case, why didn't we just keep Quez? With the right coordinator, he got Quez the ball a lot more, got him more in the rhythm, and got him, because he got speed. He's in the pros already.
I feel like Quez lost his confidence in Philadelphia. That's what it was. It was more of a confidence thing with Quez. I feel like he still was a good wide receiver. He still could run past anybody. It's just confident. Like I ain't gonna lie, Philadelphia break your confidence
Yeah,
fast. Hey, break, bro. One
yeah.
bad play, they had you feeling like you worthless. So, I mean, if you're not mentally tough, you're not gonna survive in Philly. No player. No player.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like we did that to Regular, we did that to Quez. We did that to a couple receivers out there that just like when they had that one. We almost did it to Nelly. Aguilar. He went somewhere else and kept building his confidence back up, and he's still in the league playing some good football.
It took Nelson a couple years though to get back to Philly. Will really break your confidence if you're not mentally tough. Like you're not. You gotta look. Not even just receivers. Carson Wentz. They broke Carson Wentz mentally.
Ooh.
They broke him mentally. Well,
Ooh.
we as Eagles fans, we broke him mentally.
Now that you
Who
say
else?
that, do you think
Steven
it's even
Nelson. You remember
possible?
Steven Nelson?
Do
We
you think it's
broke
even
Steven
possible
Nelson
to
mentally.
break? Hey, did you say that about Carson Wentz? Because I know how Kurtz kind of had a little bit of a downslide last year, and we could give a lot of it to coordinators and whatnot. But do you think with the new coordinators, if Hurts come out with another crappy season, that we can actually break Hurts's mindset?
I feel like we started to break his. I feel like we started to break him last year. At the end of last year, you could see it all in his demeanor, his body language. He was trying so hard not to really. Hurts dealt with a lot with the Alabama, Oklahoma stuff like that. But imagine the people that just loved you last year, now they dog you. It's like, bro, it's crazy. Like Philly really a turning back on you so fast. It's just like, yeah. I'm like, it's crazy. They could break a lot of players mentally, but I feel like Hurts gonna get it back. I don't feel like he's gonna be one of those guys. Like he was just having a down year. He's not used to it. He wasn't used to it. Like he was just on top of the world last year. Now you sure this our quarterback for the future?
Back on attic.
Hearing all these whispers, they booing him off the field. They booing Jalen Hurts off the field. It's like, bro. I mean, a lot of people get broken by they break people confidence. I just seen a podcast with probably like 2 weeks ago with dudes that play for the Eagles. Darius Slay was on there. Steven Nelson was on there. All the dudes, it's like, well, they bulling us off the field. We just balled our heart out for y'all the last game. This game we came, stuff not going right now. Y'all booing us off the field. It's like, It's hard to play in Philly, bro. It don't matter if it's football, basketball, hockey, soccer. It's hard to play in Philly. The fans is like they harsh. They harsh fans, and,
Yeah.
and they deserve to be harsh though. Like we ride or die for these teams. Like we
And it's
spend our
both
heart.
ways, you know.
Yeah,
Like they love you too.
they
They said,
love you. You playing, you putting your heart on the line. They love you to death. Philly will never forget you. But they see you out there bullshitting, crapping around, and bro, they gonna let you have it, and it breaks some people. Like you said, we did break Nelson for real.
yeah,
It took Nelson all the way till he got to Baltimore like 2 years ago to really get back to himself. Like really, it's like bro, like it's crazy, bro.
no man, it's crazy. But you know, this is the city we love, man. Philadelphia, Philadelphia, man. Like the fans are the greatest, man. I love it. I love it. You gotta be passionate. You gotta give your team shit when they're doing bad. You gotta give them love when they're doing good. And I think that they give a good mix of both. And I try to, give all love, but sometimes you hear me go off. I'll go off on the Eagles, goddamn, like pieces of, like what's going on? But what else is there before we get out of here? Any other big topics we want to talk about before we get out of here? Hey, and salute to you, Trey, for coming back on here. We got to do a Bird Brain podcast. We're gonna keep this Bird Brain podcast rocking for sure. Tone will come and make his special appearances. I just thought when we talked about it, I was like, yeah, we gotta bring Tone back too. One more, he just got back on his thing, so let's get Tone up here. But hopefully we can get him on a lot more time because it's always fun chopping it up us three. But we definitely keep the Bird Brain podcast rolling. You know what I'm saying? Will it be every weekend? But we will definitely keep you entertained when we can, guys. Entertain when we can. So the only other thing I talk about, is the kickoff return. I want to talk to you about the kickoff return. How do you feel this is going to go? Just do kickoff return rule because I feel like they're really just trying to push points because there's going to be a lot of points scored. A lot of points scored off kickoff return now. You can go from not even ever getting a damn kickoff return to people going to start taking them back like whoever got a good returner is going to start taking them back like every single freaking week. Because they're only 10 yards apart. No one moves till the guy catches the ball. It's like, all you got to do is break one layer. Like Acho said, just break one layer. And what, you got a kicker back there? And 9 times out of 10, your kicker not catching the guy. And he's not even going to risk his body to try to tackle the guy. So I'm seeing a lot of kicker returns. How do you feel about this new rule of kickoff return? And do you think the Eagles got a good enough return guy to handle the situation?
I understand the safety part of it. I mean, because it is, a little bit. It's safer, but at the end of the day, they should just eliminate kickoffs at this point. It's like, bro, y'all trying to do so much every year to prevent these players from hurting each other. All reality is hurting football teams. It's like, we got a dynamic returner, but he's never going to get a return because y'all moved the kickoff up. Now y'all moving the players up and they can't move it till they catch the football. It's like, bro, this is hurting football teams. They might as well just eliminate it. Just offense, defense, start them at a certain point like they do in Pop Warner. They might as well just do it like that. For real. Because it's stupid. It's starting to get stupid now. It's like, all right, these men, a lot of them play special teams their whole life. They played football their whole life. They running down there, okay, it's contact, people getting hurt. But football is a violent sport. Just like they try to take away the hip drop tackle. I'm like, bro, that's a natural, like, body movement type tackle. If you ride on somebody, they bigger than you. A DB and a tight end. How I'm getting this dude to the ground?
Right? And I weigh 165 pounds.
I'm getting this dude to the ground, bro. You want me to just tag him? It's like, bro, like,
Don't you just hang on till your friends get there?
yeah, like, he gonna be dragging me for 10, 15 yards before my friends get there. So it's like, bro, like, they making football not fun no more. It's like they making it not. I understand the safety rules. I understand the CT.
I don't even understand that because you're still trying to push 18-game season.
Yeah, but they making football not fun again, bro.
You're trying to push more games. We just gave you 17 last. Yeah, we went from like 14-game seasons to 16-game season to 17-game season. Now you're even trying to go to 18-game season, but you're trying to say you're worried about the health of football. Football's, like you say, it's a violent sport. the modern day gladiators play football, period. There's only 200 some people every year to get an opportunity to go play, on a winning organization and like be, on a football team. So it's like, let it be, man. Why you pay these guys $100 million if you don't want to play full steam? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you paying these guys this much money? Everybody know we knew with the risks of football when we were in Pop Warner. Our parents, their parents out there, they still want to let their kids play football because they know the risk that early. This is not something that you just picking up once you get to the NFL. Watch out because you could get hurt. You knew this shit when you were fucking 5 and 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, your mom had to sign that contract to say you could play football. And then you knew it again in junior high school when you played better, higher competition. Then you knew it again in high school when you started playing for the high school team. Then college. So there's a lot of steps that if you really didn't want the physicality of football and you really worried about your health, you could have stopped playing before you got to the NFL. We see people that done it. Some players play for 3-4 years. Like, all right, I'm good. I'm done. I'm out of here. We got good, talented players at the 10-year mark. Boom, after 10 years, think of all the greats just stopped after 10 years. Boom, 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 boom. 10 years, they stopped. Like, all right, I'm done. And they were still good when they stopped. It's just that, people have ways of preventing, keeping their body healthy. They want to get their second contract. And they know after you get that second, you're rich for the rest of your life, period. Like, so these guys are rich for the rest of their life. You got the best medical assistance in the world. They get the best medical attention possible. And I feel like you need to make any more rule changes.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It's like, all right, so now you're giving teams better opportunities to, it can ultimately affect the football game. It's like, all right, even if you don't have a great returner, you got to do it with some speed. He already picking up speed, and now dude's finally taking off. Now you chasing this dude. It's like, bro, it can hurt. It can ultimately hurt a football team. Like, it can hurt the opposing football team. Like I said, at the end of the day, they might as well just eliminate kickoffs at this point. Just eliminate it. Start at the 25 from the rip, and we play ball from there.
It's not even the players making the rules. It's the rich guys who never played before. Exactly. I invested $10 million in this guy for a year. I don't want him to get hurt and I get nothing on my investment. Man, you're weakening and watering down the sport. Why don't you go play for USFL or freaking CFL or whatever the heck, United Football League, UFL, whatever. Have rules there so people that don't want to go out there, hit somebody and don't want to go out there and, put their body on the line, they can go play in these leagues and they can have as many rules as you want over there, but stop watering down the NFL game. You think about all the gladiators. I know, but the thing is, like, you're trying to do it to like show some support and some love from all the players that played back in the day when they didn't get paid a dime and they got hurt and now they're all messed up in life. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to make new rules, just give those guys money. Give those guys health benefits. Give those guys stuff to help heal themselves. They didn't make the millions of dollars that these guys make in the day. So you can't even put in the tank. They did it for less. Back in the day, they did it for less, and it was a lot more fun a game to watch. It was a lot more fun a game out there, and not all those guys ended up, shooking up. Some of them did, yeah, but that's guarantee. Even with these new rule changes, there's gonna be some people shook up from football later on in life. So it's just a violent sport. You hit somebody, you never know. When's your last hit? Or look at Tua. He get another concussion. He might not even be able to play football again. You know what I'm saying? Especially after that last one we seen. So it's just like, let these boys play. You pay them a lot of money. If they're not out there getting the best treatment with the money that they make, they're not out there with the best doctors with the money they make, that's their own fault. You know what I'm saying? That's their own fault. Because you got the opportunity to have better doctors than any of us have, to have the best treatment that any of us have. If you choose not to get it, then that's just you, man. Like, don't play football no more. But we definitely need to let this sport get back to its hard-hitting ways. Like, I miss seeing people get laid the hell out, and I've been laid out plenty of times on the football field. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying it from some guy that never been laid out. I had both of my collarbones broken on the same damn play. Like one play broke both collarbone type hits, into the ground. So it's not like I'm coming from a spot where I'm just great. I don't have the best insurance or none of that stuff. I still live with some stuff right now You know, but I don't regret none of it. I'll go. If I even feel like I would go play football again if I could right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't regret none of it because it's the love for the sport. It's the passion of the sport. These players play with passion. You're starting to build all these soft ass players coming into the league, and that's what's watering it down. That's why people are starting to get hurt a lot more. It's because you're pansy in football players, man. You're making these guys get pussyfoot, and they don't need none of that. You need to keep them violent. You need to keep them aggressive, and they need to go out there and hit somebody on TV. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, and now it's starting to trickle down into college football too, because all the rules that the NFL enforcing, the college football enforcing them now too. So it's like, man, it be hard watching them. I mean, they young, they still flying around. It's gonna be big hits by accident and stuff like that. But I
But
mean,
that didn't sound right the way you just said that. Big hits by accident.
they don't want no big hits no more. It's like now you can't even, you don't even know where to hit a player at no more. It's like, all right, I don't want to end this dude's career just go after his knees, but I can't go up top on him either. So it's like, that's
And
my
we say
only
that
option.
like and we say that like in this dude's career, like they didn't go after each other's knees for years, and only very few people got their season ending career ending effect from it. There wasn't like when you grew up watching football, there wasn't people on injured reserve like all the time. You know, they weren't all these people that was getting hurt, can't play football again all the time. You see more of those nowadays than you did back in those days. They were just tougher men. Being able to play the game at a tougher level. Like you remember when you get smacked, you're in football patch. The biggest story I used to tell people, like growing up in South Central LA, we used to play football in the street. We used to play tackle football in the street. So when I moved to Central California and it was started doing more of the organized stuff. Like I played a little bit of organized stuff in LA, but when I moved up there and started playing more organized football, I was like, man, like it's so different wearing pads. I'd even tackled in the street with no pads on by big dudes, little dudes, your big brothers, you know what I'm saying, your big homeboys down the street. I didn't get hit by these guys with no pads on. Putting on pads was a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like going out there putting on pads was a blessing. Like hit me as hard as you want. When that big dude came and sat on me that first time, like that didn't even hurt. And I was like, all right, I can play this game for a while. Because it's a different level, man. When you really play football, I mean, you play from no pads on at all. Like it's gladiators war, and it wasn't even a big deal that we didn't have pads on. It actually made you more free to go do what you want to do. You didn't have these big ass helmets on your head, bobbing your heads around. Big old shoulder pads make you look like you got. It's a different time, man. Like we need to all. I think everybody should play no pads on. They need to start a football league with no pads. See how many people we can get in there.
They got a few of them. But yeah, like you were saying, when growing up, us playing football, that was more of a outlet. It was like, all right, I mean, you wanted to punch on somebody in school, wanted to beat somebody up. All right, I got football practice today. I'm about to go take all this anger off somebody on the field. It's not like that no more. These dudes just playing for half of them just playing for the money now. It's like, all right, that's cool. But us, we actually love the game. I don't know how many people actually love the game no more. It's like, all right, I'm an athlete. I know I could play it. I mean, I know I could get paid off of it. But how many people actually love the game still? It's like, I mean, football gonna be ancient in a little bit. It's gonna be like, I remember them dudes, like you're gonna see pictures and video. I'm like, oh snap, what's that? Oh, that's football. That's how it's gonna be in a little bit, bro. Like, yeah, because it's like what I'm seeing like year to year. I'm like, bro, it's like y'all might as well be playing flag football at this point. Shouldn't even be no tackling.
Facts, man. Hey, salute to the 80 up in here. Make sure you hit that like wherever you at. Come on, everybody's channel from Chocolate Up Sports to Bergen 31 to One Trade Rock. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Live. Salute to all you guys out there because I see the support heavy on the Twitter side. I see the support heavy on the Facebook side. The YouTube side is rocking too. Make sure all you guys can come over to the YouTube side. Hit that like, you know what I'm saying, and show some love over there as well, man. Hey, we're on the last topic. Our final thoughts we got here on the 2024 episode 20, Trey. Episode 20 of the Bird Brain podcast, man. We're gonna keep this show rocking. We're gonna keep rocking. I'm gonna talk to Trey and make sure we can get a good time out where we can continue this show because I know he'd be busy over there too as well. So, but my last words is Eagle Nation. The Reddit trade's not gonna be that big of a deal. Like a lot of people say, it's about the coaching. I think Trill said earlier, or somebody said earlier, I've seen lesser talented teams win championships. Lesser talented teams, which it's about the coaching, the scheme, and the desire for the players that are out there. So all this big name stuff, how we got money to kill, man. Like how we got money. Everybody's worried about Devontae Smith. Devontae gonna get paid when he get paid. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get paid. For F to be worried about when it's gonna happen, it's out of our pay grade. We ain't gotta worry about none of that. Because he gonna get paid. He's happy. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be happy at Philadelphia Eagle for a very long time. The money does open up more rooms to pick up some more players. I think, by the time the season starts, we'll probably have like one or two more players, that we didn't know we were going to have on our team. It's going to make a bigger difference on our football team. But I want to go get Trotter Jr. in this draft. I want to get Latu from UCLA in this draft. And I want to go get, Brendan Rice, in this draft. I feel like we add those three players to this football team. It's nothing but Super Bowl for sure. Because Trotter Jr., when you got a White, you got a Dean if he does come out and play, and even if you go get another linebacker, it's to have a Trotter legacy like that. And I have watched this game tape, and he is a physical linebacker, and I would love to see him out there axe chopping away, and just us being his dad's fans. If he made it to our team and he's doing that axe chop, that's gonna make us push him to be even better. So those other guys that might be a little bit more athletic or a little bit more longer, those guys don't have the extra advantage of their dad had a legacy here. So if he came here and played that legacy, just look at when Reddick came here and played career year, when freaking Swift came here and played career year, and I even Saquon's from PA. When he's gonna have a career year this year. It's because it's about home, baby. And Philadelphia for the Trotter family is home. And I would love to see Trotter out here. I want Trotter, Latu from UCLA, and Brendan Rice from USC, baby. And I think if we get those three players, I don't even care who else you draft, and we're gonna be just fine, baby. We're just fine.
Facts. I ain't the biggest Trotter fan, but I love him here in the Eagles. I just feel like he's a scheme linebacker. He's got to fit the scheme. He's not one of those linebackers where you dropping him in the coverage. He coming downhill, just like his pop. His pop was a downhill ball. This day and age, those kind of linebackers, they don't really translate well to the NFL unless you put them in heavy pass.
We have one of the highest coverage grades too of any linebacker.
What I've seen, bro, me watching his games, I don't feel like he's that good at coverage. I feel like he's more of a physical downhill run stopping linebacker that could blitz, and he'll go right. He'll go right in scheme wise. If he's schemed right, you get me. So for me, bro, it's more of a man. I'm just glad football coming back. Period, bro. These little droughts be killing me. And I've been watching the WNBA. I never did that before. It's nothing on TV. It's nothing on TV. So, the season is slowly approaching. I love it, bro. You already know. I gotta get back to my YouTube thing too, man. I done fell off. I be doing a lot of stuff. I be coaching the kids. It'd be a lot going on.
It's busy out there.
It'd be a lot going on. Definitely gonna lock back into my YouTube thing, man, because I gotta start doing my thing with my guy BG again, man.
Hell yeah, during the season we'll definitely bring back Birds Online. That's another great show we have going on. But yeah, man. Birdbang podcast is when we just want to talk about the Eagles team. When we do Birds Online, it's for you to talk about it. So that's why we got two shows together. One so you can hear us talk, and the other show so you can talk with us. So we definitely gonna get these shows lit up this year again, man. Good night to you, my guy. Like we always say at the end of my videos, fly, Eagles, fly. It's One Cherry Rock, it's BG31, and we are out. Peace.